Experience!
One more game in Week 11. It is Houston at Dallas, and Dallas is a 7-point underdog at home for this game. No real injuries to report outside of Nico Collins, expected to make his return finally for the Houston Texans, hopefully injecting some life into this offense. Additionally, CeeDee Lamb is still dealing with this shoulder injury. The risk of aggravation of it is still pretty high, so one bad hit could be the end of CeeDee Lamb. It's not like his production is going to be off the charts for Dallas anyway, with Cooper Rush under center for the rest of the season. We'll see if it's going to continue to be Cooper Rush. We saw him get yanked a week ago against a good defense for Trey Lance, and that could happen again this evening, which leads us into the underdog picks for Monday Night Football. We're going to need some this week because it was a bad Sunday for me on Underdog. 2 great Sundays in a row. You're not going to win every single week. Despite what some people might tell you, there are losses that come along the way, but there's time to get back on the horse and win on Monday Night Football. And the best way you can do that is sign up for Underdog, use code Mayo, and get a CJ Stroud free pick for Monday Night Football to add to this entry to boost it up to 13-1. Right now, it's 6.5-1 because I'm not a new player. I don't get a free pick. Here are the 3 plays that I'm looking for on Underdog this evening for Monday Night Football. First is going to be Joe Mixon, higher than 87.5 rushing yards. Listen, there's 2 things that you can do to Dallas. You can try to pass all over them if you have good protection, or you can run all over them. Micah Parsons being back, and we know the state of the Texans' offensive line. They might try to get Nico Collins more involved. It should make their passing game more dynamic, but the path to least resistance right now is going to be the running game with Joe Mixon. So as long as he stays healthy here, he should be able to clear this number and get across 100 yards rushing here. So 87.5, we're going over. Cooper Rush absolutely reeks, and this Texans defense is pretty good. They will harass him all day long. Plus, there's the chance that they're looking to see some more Trey Lance if Cooper Rush continues to struggle. So let's go lower than 182.5 passing yards in the game. And here's the fun one. CeeDee Lamb higher than a half-yard rushing. He has beat this number in 5 of the past 6 games. He usually gets 1 or 2 opportunities as a rushing attempt every single game. This is a good run defense, but so is Philadelphia's. It's not that big of a deal here as long as he gets his carry, get into space, and get that 1-yard rushing. You put those 3 together, you win 6.5 times your money. You use code Mayo at Underdog right now, or code PME, whichever one you want, and you can double the odds on that with a free pick to add to it with CJ Stroud. Running back injuries following week number 11, going into week number 12. You can always find the cheat sheet for this, all of the pickups as well, down in the show notes right now. The link is provided. It's completely free and gets updated all the way through waiver period on Tuesday evening. And smash a like and sub to the channel while you're here. Of course, the main injuries at running back that we're looking at right now, no one really knew got injured throughout the course of the week. 2 pretty healthy weeks in a row. I guess so many teams going on bye. There's 6 teams on bye week in week number 12, by the way, so you might have some issues. Tank Bigsby missed week 11. Jacksonville goes on bye week. Jamal Williams missed for the Saints, and Isaiah Pacheco missed the Bills game for Kansas City as he continues to rehabilitate himself. Probably see him in 2 weeks' time would be my guess, but you never know with these kind of things. So pickup-wise, Tank Bigsby missed the game going on bye, yet he was dropped in tons of leagues. He is now under the threshold of 50% ownership on Yahoo, so he's the number 1 pickup at running back right now. Ray Davis, Zach Charbonnet, Blake Corum, Cam Akers. There's the theme here. They're all handcuff running backs that you don't ever want to play, but should something happen to the starter, you put them in. After that, Roschon, Gus Edwards, Braylon Allen, and Tyler Algier at running back. At wide receiver, Darnell Mooney exited the game for the Falcons. That seems to be the biggest one. Ladd McConkey hurt his shoulder. He left the game, but then he ended up returning. T. Higgins took a wild hit in the Sunday Night Football game, yet he continued to be in. Maybe something materializes with him, because God knows, not a beacon of health, T. Higgins. Keon Coleman missed week 11. The Bills go on bye, and he's still expected to miss time after that. Josh Reynolds for Denver missed week 11 as well. Mike Evans is expected to return this week against the Giants. Not a guarantee from that hamstring injury, but still pretty likely that we see him against the Giants in week number 12. For pickups at wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, Quentin Johnson, Demario Douglas, Super Demario, MVS Marquez, Valdez, Scantling, and then Christian Watson, who has dropped below the threshold as well. For deeper leagues, Ricky Bullets, Ricky Purcell, Demarcus Robinson, Xavier Legette, Jalen McMillan, and Jalen Coker-McMillan should be back and healthy and maybe playing against the Giants this week as well. Then you get all the Carolina guys back. Plus, Adam Thielen should be activated from injured reserve as well. We'll see how he integrates into the Carolina offense this week. At tight end, Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta, and George Kittle all missed week number 11 along with Noah Fant. So options are starting to become a bit limited at tight end. A lot of guys went over the threshold, like Taysom Hill is over the threshold, and so is Jonnu Smith. Taysom would be a great pickup at this point, but you missed out on him as per the waiver column. Top 5 pickups at tight end this week: Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, Jatavion Sanders, Will Disley, and Tyler Conklin. No must-adds, but guys that can fill in the pieces right now if you need them. Should we hear that Dalton Kincaid is going to miss a little bit more time than maybe Dawson Knox makes this list as well, but with the Bills on bye, you probably don't need him at this point. Trevor Lawrence ended up missing the game. Now the Jags go on bye. He could return after the bye week, but he still has that grade 3 AC joint sprain in his left shoulder. The Jags are going nowhere. I don't see why you would throw him out there in order to get him more injured for the rest of the season. I guess it's probably still better than Mac Jones playing quarterback for you, but hey, here we are. I don't know if Lawrence will be back or not, but the QB streams for the week, Bo Nix continues to be below 50% owned, and it's a pretty decent matchup against Vegas this week. Daniel Jones at home against Tampa Bay. If it is Daniel Jones, it could be Drew Lock. We do not know yet, but Daniel Jones, even in his bad games, is still a pretty good fantasy performer, and the Bucs defense has been god-awful. So Daniel Jones at number 2, Drake May at Miami number 3, Thursday Night Football. Both guys, Jameis and Russell Wilson, then Anthony Richardson this week as a streamer as well. Well, he is still below the 50% ownership threshold. Then if you're looking for defenses to stream, there's not many in a short week like this. Washington at home against Dallas, especially with Dallas on the short weekend. Rush or Lance playing quarterback sounds like a pretty good get-right spot for Washington to me. They're number 1. Tampa Bay is number 2 at the Giants. Even having a bad D, Daniel Jones can still score a bunch of fantasy points and give the ball away a whole bunch of times for the fantasy defense. Wouldn't be concerned about that. And then Tennessee is at Houston. Not great, but we know that Tennessee has a very good pass rush. They can get there. That's a really weird way to inflection to say pass rush, but that's how I'm saying it on a Monday morning. And you just hope that C.J. Stroud takes a bunch of sacks in this game. Again, there's a dearth of talent available for streaming defenses in Week 12. The playoff streams are still available. Indianapolis, Arizona, Jacksonville, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay are the top 5 that are available. The Chargers are right around. They got dropped a bunch because of Cincinnati. They might get dropped a bunch again against Baltimore this week. If they do get dropped, go pick up the Chargers defense. They have the best schedule for a fantasy defense through the fantasy playoffs in weeks 15, 16, and 17. All right, the cheat sheet is up now in the Mayo Media newsletter. The link is in the show notes right now. Smash the like, sub to the channel, and use code Mayo at Underdog right now, all right, to get that free pick and a deposit bonus of up to $1,000.
Mayo experience! Experience!